How is the state of San Diego market? Hello, everybody. My name is Roxanne Govari with Pamberley Realty, along with my partner Santiago Guerin.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Glad to have you in. Looking forward to probably one of the most popular topics that everyone likes to hear about. Everyone wants to know what the market is doing and how things are going here in San Diego. So, we got a great expert here today with Roxanne. So, let's go ahead and get started.
Numbers, huh?
Yep.
Okay, so we normally start with our office in University Heights, and a lot of people don't know exactly where University Heights is, and so the most well-known neighborhood around here is actually North Park. So we can actually call it North Park,
Yeah.
North Park rather than University Heights.
Yeah.
But our area, our zip code of 92116 actually has Kensington, Normal Heights, and University Heights as neighborhoods within the zip code of 92116.
Yeah.
And so normally we're looking at 92116 and 92103 as the neighboring zip code. So, and we're always looking behind, 1 month behind, because we
Yeah.
have to wait for the current month to close before we can actually figure out
Yeah.
figure out what has happened. So let's look at the numbers and go ahead, Santi, if you want to go ahead and interpret these numbers and tell us what you think.
Yeah. So, kind of point out the main stuff here. Well, looks like there was five new listings compared to last year, so went up 25% on that. Pending sales went down. Um, Closed sales went down as well too, as well as the median sales price compared to last year by
Mm-hmm.
a pretty big amount. So
Mm.
27% is not a small number. Uh, Days on market until sale 17 days is you know I
Not
would say that's probably pretty good, right? That's actually pretty good compared to 30, which is usually. I mean, what would you consider to be like an average time of a home sitting in the market, Roxanne? You know,
I mean,
generally
right
speaking.
now, actually, days on market in my eyes, days on market right now are actually a lot more. It's
Yeah,
more like 60 to 90 days on market. And I'm surprised to see that this says 17 days on market,
yeah,
uh, because what we're
that's
experiencing on the ground, it feels like it's definitely longer than that.
yeah. So that's kind of surprising. And then inventory of homes for sale, it did go up 31% compared to last year. So looks like there was a little bit more inventory than last year, but prices did go down maybe because there was a little bit more inventory compared to last year.
Definitely, the inventory is definitely increasing, and you can see supply of homes per a monthly supply of homes is also increasing,
Yeah.
which is a good thing. The only thing that I would say in regards to that is buyers think that we're going to have a crash. I don't personally see any reasons why we would have a crash. And looking at these numbers also, yes, our inventory is increasing, that's for sure. But I just don't see a crash. And if you're looking at a year to date numbers also, it also tells you that even though we might be overall April to April, we may be lower in numbers, but
Yeah.
steadily from month to month does not look like we are actually seeing a decrease in prices.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's move on to condos and go ahead.
Yeah.
Tell us what you're thinking on
So
the condo market.
a whole lot more of new listings compared to last April. I mean, 500%. I mean, 20 more places. It's pretty good. Pending sales, went up as well. Closed sales up. It looks like everything went up. Even the median sales price went up as well.
Hmm.
Days on the market, 14 days, which is pretty surprising too compared to 23
Yeah.
last year. and then inventory of homes for sale 34 compared to 8, and then the month supply of inventory 4.1, really great number. So there's been movement. It looks like there's homes up for sale, and yeah, and even the prices have gone up. So
If this trend continues, then I think we can say that we're finally out of that market when we had a shortage of inventory,
yeah, I
right?
could, yeah,
So,
yeah. It
so
looks like it's looking a lot better.
okay, and let's look at the charts and see where we are in 92116 compared
Compared
to
to,
the
yeah,
rest of the MLS, right?
yeah. So it looks like we're in the single family homes, we're above all of the MLS. So just above it. So I think MLS is like a little bit above a million, and we're 92116 is above the 1.2, maybe like at the 1.3 mark. We're
So
at,
the red line represents the entirety of the county.
yeah,
So the average home in our county is slightly above a million, and in the zip code of 92116, we seem to be even above that, more like million three is our
yeah,
average home price.
yeah.
And interestingly enough, that's not the case with our condos because we
No,
have of smaller condos,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And the average of the condos, average price of a condo in the whole county seems to be closer to 700,000, whereas in our zip code of 92116, it's well below 600,000,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep,
Let's
yep.
jump over to 92103, which is Hillcrest and Mission Hills, and see what we see there. Okay, so what do you see here?
So also new listings stayed about the same. Only one more new listing compared to last year. I mean, but if we look at the year to date, I mean, compared to last year, we're already ahead of last year by you know a good number. So um, pending sales did go down, but the closed sales went up. So not too bad. Median
Hmm.
sales price did go down, but like we talked earlier with the other one on the year to date, it's still it's still up. So no
Yeah.
drop in prices for your homes. And then days on the market until sale 25. So these are a little bit higher compared to 92116.
Hmm.
Still pretty low to the what we were thinking. And then inventory of homes went up to 41, and month supply of inventory 3.3. So pretty good numbers compared to even last month.
But
So
even there, we see the inventory is
it's
definitely
increasing.
increasing,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
And then on the condo side, it's interesting
yeah.
because you do see a price falling, but look at how much everything. So you have the same, almost the same amount of sales, but a lot more pending sales.
Yeah. Yep. So it looks like there's been a lot more movement, a lot more things going up on new properties going up and, you know, increasing. And the price, they kind of like, yeah, it did go down, but it still went up a little bit in the year to date. So,
Year to date,
yeah,
exactly.
not horrible.
Okay, how would you describe the chart
Yeah.
here?
For these homes here, both of them well above the median of the county. So the median sales price for a single family is probably at around 1.75. And then, all of the MLS is, right above the million mark. And then
Million.
for the
Yeah.
condos, it's looking like it's way above the 700, almost getting to the 800,000
Hmm.
for
Yeah.
a condo, while all the MLS is, right below the 700 mark. So,
So now let's go up north. What do
yeah.
you think?
Yeah, let's go see.
going up north means going up to the North County of San Diego, and we have an office up in Del Mar. So
Yeah.
let's check out the stats for Del Mar next and
Yeah.
see what we see there.
Yeah.
And so if we're looking in Del Mar, let me even make it a little bit bigger so that you can see as well. So go ahead, give me your interpretations there.
So I feel like, Del Mar is a little bit of an outlier compared to the rest of the county, and the ones that we've looked at already. So new listings went down, pending sales went down, closed sales did go up. The median sales price went down a whole lot compared to last April. Um,
Yeah.
Days on the market, 39. So that went up to a higher number there. Inventory of homes, 41. So basically stayed almost the same as last April. And the month supply of inventory is 4.4, which I mean is still a good number.
I
Just at the price of
right
sold.
the fact that Del Mar is an outlier. For one, you can have really swings of prices. So
Yeah.
so this is not quite the accurate information, or I should say, the data doesn't speak to the entirety of the story of what's happening over there,
Yeah.
because you could have a house at 40 million and you can have a house at a million, or
Yeah.
not a house, but
2-3 million.
okay, let me rephrase that. You could have a house at 3 million and you could have a house at 30 million. So then that really
Skews
with
the numbers.
with your data when you're trying to average things out,
Yep. Yep.
right?
Yeah. So there was probably a little bit more higher last April. There was a little bit more of those high number houses being sold, bringing that number to 3.7. Well, you know, since they were almost the same. I mean, there was even a lot more closed sales this April, but
Right,
the price was more. So probably
right.
there was more numbers to get a number from. Maybe it made the number, but
But it still shows that days on market still went up.
yeah,
And that is an indication that even though we're looking at an affluent neighborhood, the the state of the economy still plays out into it, because even in an affluent neighborhood, you're thinking most of the transactions are being done in cash, and people are not as price sensitive. But still, even though prices went down, days on market also grew to be more than the year
yep,
before.
yep,
Okay, so let's look at some of the condos.
yeah. So on this one, it's I mean, not too many numbers on here. So I mean, it did go up a couple more new listings compared to last April. Pending sales just one. For the whole month is pretty surprising.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Closed sales too. Uh, Median sales price went up, but like we said, the numbers probably with if you just have two houses, closing, the numbers could be, changing the numbers on here. So,
One thing that I think is strongly points out to a buyer's market, meaning that the market is really, really soft, is exactly this. You have one in pending and nine in active.
yeah,
And that basically means that the buyers get to drive the market if there is a lot of choices for them, and not a whole lot of sale happening. So that
yeah,
is really an extreme a buyer's market when we have these kinds of numbers.
yeah, yeah. And then days on the market, last year 14 days, this April 44, changed quite a bit.
Yes.
Inventory of homes for sale 20, so it did go up. I mean, and then the month supply of inventory 5.3. So there
Yeah.
is the supply. There is definitely the homes out there and the condos.
Let's compare this to all of well, let's move on to Carmel Valley real quick and see what we see here, because Carmel Valley is just to east of Del Mar. So it's interesting to figure
Yeah.
out in comparison what we see there. So,
Yeah.
well, what do you think of these numbers?
Yeah. I mean, couple new listings, 5 more listings compared to last year. Pending sales stayed around the same, and closed sales just a little bit less. Sales price went down, but on the year to date, still went up. So home price is still going up. Uh, Days on market, 19 days. So they're not sitting as long as they are in Del Mar, like the 40 days, 19 days here. Um, Inventory of homes for sale, 45. So there's quite a number of homes for sale in the 92130, zip code, and month supply of inventory went up to 2.4. So
If you look at the median sales price of here versus in Del Mar, median sales price in April was at 2.542, whereas in Del Mar, median sales price was 2.828.
yeah,
So, so you're still, and that is with a drop of 23%,
yeah,
still a lot higher.
yeah.
So, okay, let's look at the condos.
Condos, new listings went down a good amount. Pending sales went down as well, and the closed sales. Median sales price that did go up a little bit. Days on the market still, fairly quick, 14. Inventory of homes, 36. Pretty good number compared to those of Del Mar.
Hmm.
Month supply of inventory went up to 2.8. So looks like the inventory is better compared to this time last year.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, I mean, but the year to date on this one, surprisingly, it went down to 950 compared to last year, where it was like at a million.
Yeah, yeah.
08, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting that you actually see a drop. And of course, if you're comparing it to the county-wide numbers, you 921 and 130, the
It's
prices
way
are
up.
considerably higher
Yeah,
than average in the entirety of the county.
100%. Yeah.
Let's go and look at some homes and see
Yeah.
what we see in those zip codes. What do you think?
Yep.
Okay, so we're for the purpose of this, we're looking at actives, and let's also do solds for uh, the last month. Okay, so I'll go back to April, first of April till now. So and let's look at both condos and single family homes. So so that's good there. And let's start with our zip code of 92116. And so we have 92 homes for sale, which the average that I always used to remember in this zip code has been around 60. So now that we're at 92 homes for sale,
It's a
we're
good number.
above what we've seen in the
Yeah.
past couple of years. So now the least expensive, it's actually a studio for $325,000. And so let's take a look. And
I mean, it looks like it's been redone.
looks like it's been redone. Looks like it has a nice sized kitchen, nice bathroom, and this place is on the market for 42 days, and they've dropped from 375 to 325, and still has not sold. So that's the least expensive one in the complex, in the zip code, and then the most expensive one in our neighborhood is actually this house at 5112, so over 5,000 square feet, four bedrooms and four baths. And let's take a look at what this house has to offer. Nice courtyard and very nice living room area with a dramatic ceiling and nice balcony. I like this enclosed porch, which is very nicely done. Beautiful dining room with beautiful hardwood floors, and in this period where this house was built, they used to frame the hardwood floors into what the room was. So as you can see, it looks very nicely done, and you also have a beautiful kitchen with a classic stove, which is nice to have. Um,
It
and
does have those countertops, those pretty, they're like old school kind of countertops.
Yep, exactly, exactly. And this looks like it's a family room. I like the ceiling. Looks very classic looking, and also the bathrooms are to the period. They may have been upgraded since their original inception, but they definitely have that original feel to them. And I even like the telephone booth.
Yeah.
That is also very classic, and down to actually the rotary telephone
Yeah.
being in there, and
Very nice.
bedrooms look very spacious and nicely done, nicely staged. Bathrooms seem to be original with the original tile, and the choice of colors are very interesting,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Yeah.
Uh,
Very interesting.
All right. Well, there you have it. And so this house is 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, and 5,100 square feet.
And they
So
did have a price reduction. If you see, they did have a price reduction.
you're
Yeah, and
right.
it's been on the market for quite a couple days too.
It went from 3.879 to 3.295. So that's a huge
That-
price reduction. That's a
yeah,
huge price reduction.
and
You're right.
62 days on the market too.
Yeah. I'm going to go now and take a look at Del Mar 92014. Let's see what we see um, over there. So the least expensive being a 1 bedroom, 1 bath condo at 708 square feet, and this one's been on the market quite a while, also
Yeah,
on Mango Drive for $665,000, and nice pool, nice in well in the unit washer and dryer, nice nice kitchen, and I like the hardwood floors. I like the balcony, and so that's the least expensive in Del Mar for $665,000.
and
And
there's the HOA fee too as well. There
let's
is an there is an HOA fee too.
How much is $550 per month for HOA fees? And then, so let's look at what's the most expensive house on the market. So most expensive house on the market is at 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, 1757 square feet for 5 million. And they also dropped the price from, actually they oh, I'm looking at the sold ones. Let's
Yeah,
look at the active ones, because that's where so this house actually gives us the
exactly.
perfect description of what we were talking about the wild swing of prices in Del Mar. So we looked
Yep.
at 1 bedroom condo for 665,000, and now we're looking at a 7 bedroom, 7 bath house, 6,000 square feet, and at a price of 75 million. And that's because Del Mar is right by the water. So if you're right by the water, we're versus further away, but you're still in Del Mar, there's a
Big
big difference
difference.
in
Yeah,
price.
it's been sitting in the market for a long time though.
This one's been on the market for a while. That is definitely true. But at $75 million, you're not going to have a buyer every day for that
Yeah,
type of property, right? So that could be the reason why it has not sold yet. But it definitely is a very attractive property. And of course, the most attractive part about it is you have your pool. You can go in the morning and dip your toes in the sand and in the ocean water, and then you can come and during the day you can relax by the pool. So you have the best of both worlds. That's the beauty of this property, where you essentially have access to both at the same time. So it's definitely there's definitely a lifestyle. 75 million may not be for every buyer out there, but there's definitely a lifestyle to this house that is very attractive. And for the one that does have the funds to be able to enjoy this lifestyle, this is definitely a great choice, I would say.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's leave it there and thank our audience for joining us.
Yep. Thank you everyone so much. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, from all our social medias, make sure to give us a thumbs up. If it's on YouTube, subscribe so you can see all our videos, all our market updates that we do. We have a lot of information that we're giving out to you guys. So yeah, give us a thumbs up, like us, follow us on all our social media. I think Roxanne you can contact Roxanne if you have any questions or, whatever it is, give her a call. You got my number there too as well. Always open to hear whatever you guys have to say. There's our Instagram. Go ahead and give us a follow. Our website as well. You can find all our information on there as well. Facebook, right there. You can contact us. We'll be right on top of answering you guys. So I don't know. Do we have any more handles to put up, or is there YouTube on there?
I actually good idea. I don't have the YouTube one, but YouTube one is also at Pemberley Realty. Our handle on
Pemberley
YouTube.
Realty. Just look up Pemberley Realty on YouTube and give us a follow and subscribe. Right.
Excellent. And thank you everyone for watching, and make it a great day.
Bye everyone. Have a good day.